Are lower lows ahead in Polkadot? Well, let's take a look at the chart right now and figure that out. You can see right now that we are definitely in a downtrend with Polkadot and have been since the end of December. We have this high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and perhaps a lower low. Just depends on what the price action over the next few days and weeks are going to look like. That is the true definition of a downtrend. That is lower lows and lower highs. Now, Polkadot is not the only coin suffering with that. Many of the altcoins are. Pretty much every coin I do videos on are suffering from a downtrend. This is ADA. Doge is in its own channel breaking down. Just did a video on Doge. Nice to see this bounce challenging the top of that channel, but still this channel holds. VET, downtrend. Even Solana, one of the most powerful and positive coins that have had the most positive move up, is suffering from its own downtrend. So Polkadot is not alone. We're seeing kind of the pullback and the reaction from these big moves that we've had across crypto since October. Bitcoin is driving some of that with its fall and tagging 40,000 right here. We'll have to see if Bitcoin is going to continue to fall. You can see the markings I had, and I was talking about this in my previous video of we have suffered the fall below this rising channel that Bitcoin has been in since December. We've since fallen out of that and almost tagged 40,000. And I was just letting the viewers know on that video, and I'll let you know here, I think we'll fall below 40,000 here and start ranging into this 38 to 40,000 mark before we get up to 48 again. I think the pullback in October, November, and December, and actually, if you look at the charts way back to November of 2022, Bitcoin has just been on a solid rise since November of 2022. Look at this down here at 16,000. It did this level, and then in October, absolutely skyrocketed. And I think it's just time for Bitcoin to kind of relax and give back some of its gains, retrace, reset, rebase, pull back, whatever you want to call it, while we find a new foundation and then hopefully go for 50,000 plus sometime in 2024. Do not be fooled by this. Until we get above 45,000 solidly and consistently, there is downward pressure on Bitcoin, and we're seeing that across other coins, including Polkadot. Thus, this downward pressure. Now, we were in this range of 7.3 to 7.6 over the last the last few days of this week, the first few days of this week right here. That was equivalent to Bitcoin doing its dance right here. And when Bitcoin fell out below that line, DOT also started falling out below its resistance or support and has ended up into this range of 6.3 to 7.2. Is DOT going to continue down? Well, I don't know the answer to that. I think so, but you never know. So here's my point. As long as we are under this trend line, there's downward pressure. Okay, as long as we're under this trend line, there is downward pressure. Do not be fooled by this. This could happen. That might be, I could be wrong, might be what we're seeing in Doge, a nice little pump up and then a fall. I hope not. I want Doge to go up. I want DOT to go up. I'm just saying, don't be fooled by this. Until we can break the top of this trend line, which lines up pretty well with the top of this resistance now of 7.6, until we can break that, we have to assume that DOT has downward pressure and the momentum is carrying it downwards. Okay, that's where the pressure is coming from. That is until we can break this trend line and get back above 7.6. So does that mean we'll go down? Not necessarily, but it means we're going to be in this area until we aren't. When you say, well, that don't make no sense. Well, I'm just telling you what the market is saying, and the pressure is down. So you have to say, okay, if the market is creating this structure down, what gives me an indication in the market that that structure is changing and that we could be looking for new moves up? Well, I'm telling you right now, breaking above this trend line and staying above the trend line at this 7.6 level is a signal that the downward trend is at least over for the time being, and we may be looking at further moves higher. Until you see that, assume DOT is going to range or fall lower. If I come back in 2 or 3 days and I find Bitcoin down here below 40, between 38 and 40, DOT's probably going to be at the bottom of this channel, okay, or the bottom of this level, may have even dipped down under 6.3. So you have to assume the market's going to keep moving a particular direction until it gives you an indication it's not. That indication is above this trend line. So until then, there's pressure on DOT. There was one more thought. Oh, here's the thought I wanted to bring you. The good news is you can always see this uncoupling. Doesn't mean like we're seeing on Doge, right? Doge has had a strong day, even though other coins have not. I mean, ADA's gone up a bit. Vet's got a red day. Solana so far has a red day. Avalanche has a red day before. So we can see this decoupling, and these coins can still move on their own. They really can. They don't always follow Bitcoin to the T or follow the crypto market to the T. So part of it is the connection with Bitcoin, that below 40,000, I think we're going to fall down to this level. And then part of it is you can just look at DOT in a vacuum as well. And again, take into consideration, even if Bitcoin falls and you see something like this, just be careful. Until we get close above these levels, you're going to have to be careful about considering any longs at that point, because you could get a nice bounce off this trend line and then just right back down. That's what downward pressure is, and that's where we are with DOT right now, and that's why we may be seeing new lows here. We'll just have to find out. There is kind of a level here, right about here, not there, where we've seen several wicks. So it's kind of a medium term level. What's that, 6.6? Got a wick here that we went through, came back up, a wick here, a wick here, a wick here, almost a wick there and a wick there. So you could basically say this is almost another level right here, like that, something like that. So this might be the top and this might be the bottom, and we've got to break above that to go higher. And of course, if we get into this level, it's held up several times so far, but the more times you kick at a door, the easier it is for it to fall. So if it keeps kicking down here, that would be the equivalent of that Bitcoin getting weaker and us falling down, which if Bitcoin gets weaker, I think that's what we'll see in DOT. All right, y'all be careful out there. Hope that was helpful. Trade wisely, and I'll catch up with you next time.